you're having a great day. Again tonight, our health shop here. And to note, we're going to start doing this a little later, but we'll get that information out for everybody. On this month, we're looking at getting ready for winter through the month of November. And tonight we're talking about fall allergies. A lot of people, we've had quite a few people come into the office and, since everybody's got all this deal with COVID, everybody thinks that fall allergies is another round of COVID. But no, it's just fall allergies. And there's a lot of reasons for that. We'll talk about that as we go through this. Of course, I'm Dr. Mark. And just as a reminder, we've been working here at our office for going on 40 years. So quite a bit of experience with helping people to be healthy. And a quick point about that is we're a different type of office where we don't like to work on symptoms only, not just treating symptoms, but actually working on healthcare, working on actual health. And that's different than what we're used to in the mainstream medicine's healthcare paradigm of more disease management. So we're looking at trying to get a person healthy so that all their problems are gone. They still need to be eating correctly and even taking some supplements if they need that for the stress their body's under, but we want to get the body healthy, a different type of paradigm. And we'll talk about that as we go through here. So what we're talking about, fall allergies. This is a great little picture of all kind of fall weeds that are out there. We're starting to get past that if we had some rain and things, but the last month here we've had a lot of the fall, the thistles and all that kind of stuff blooming out, all that kind of thing. Another great one is the golden seal or goldenrod. A lot of pollen from that going on. So just a lot of pollens at the end of the year. And the other part is dry. So when things are so dry, of course, they flake off. There's just a lot of dust goes on with that. And one of the big ones is, at this time of the year, is the farmers, it's not their fault, just what it is, but the farmers, you can see all the dust there coming out of the combines, and especially when they're working in soybeans. Field corn's bad enough, but soybeans this year seem to have been really dry. And so a lot of times I've had farmers come in and talk about when they turn their machine around, they almost have to stop for a little bit, let the dust clear, because they can't even see where they're going. There's so much dust and thing out there. So, just all this stuff gets in the air, and that's the only downside of fall probably. As we get into winter, then we've had some rains, we've had a lot of wind come through and blows all that dust and everything away. But for right now, we're dealing with a lot of that. And what does that have to do with anything? Well, in mainstream, they're always looking at trying to use steroids and things to, or shots, or whatever else, to suppress the symptoms. Well, we just want to figure out, why is that symptom there? What's going on? So for us, we have what we call the bucket explanation for allergies. And what happens is that the liver gets so full of toxins and things, it actually backs up lymphatics up into the sinuses and the body. You see that there. So it's kind of like, the way I explain it to patients, the body can handle a bucket's worth of snot and mucus in the lymphatics, but if we can drain that bucket out, so there's no mucus in there, then when you get into all this dust and pollen and everything else, your body won't react to it. It won't overflow the bucket. It's all cleaned out, and the liver's working correctly, and no more toxins will bother. But the bucket's already full. If your body's already full of toxins and mucus, and if you're dehydrated, your mucus is not, your lymphatics, your lymph, I guess is just a word for it. The fluid in there is not moving. Well, then you just back up into all this sinusy stuff, and you keep breathing in more dust, and you just have more reactions because your body's not handling it like it's supposed to. So some explanation about that. As an analogy, the human body can handle a bucket's worth of mucus in the lymphatic system and liver. Liver is constantly trying to detoxify the body of the gunk from breathing and eating, plus detoxify the myriad of chemicals that we're exposed to every day. Now, the one thing about fall allergies, that's just kind of on top of all the other stuff that we're into. So if you use laundry detergents that are toxic, if you dishwashing liquids, makeup, hairspray, on and on and on and on. I mean, there's just so much going on there that the body already has to deal with. Just fragrances, perfumes. Just a ton of stuff. Body already has to deal with. And if you add to that the pollens, the dust, all that kind of stuff, you're going to notice more, itchy eyes and all the stuff. The body is just overloaded. It's toxic. The body tries to keep the bucket drained, but can become overwhelmed with all the work it has to do. If you develop more than the bucket's worth, you start to have symptoms like runny nose, watery eyes, allergy symptoms. As a complicating factor is if food proteins are pollens, plant proteins. Again, you got to realize what pollen are. Pollens are plant protein. Get stuck in the lymphatics. Now, the food proteins get stuck more in the gut lymphatics. The plant proteins or the pollens get stuck more in the lung, sinus lymphatics there. The body starts to develop antibodies to get rid of them, and the person develops the allergy antigens that show up in the blood tests. So, the medics are looking at it from the end point, where they're going to treat that end point, or they're looking at what the cause of it is and treating the reason why it's there in the first place. And as a marketing tool, if you just keep treating the symptom for forever and ever and ever, well, it's great for marketing and a lot of money thing, but your patient doesn't get well, and your body's spending a lot of energy not only to deal with the allergy, but then to deal with the treatment. Because many times it's a steroid or some kind of a drug used to antihistamine. The body then has to try to get out of there, and that gums up the work more. So it's just really important to realize what's going on there. Let's see. Our goal with nutrition response testing is to identify what food allergies, heavy metals, pathogens, chemicals, etc. the patient is having problems with, detox the body of them, thereby reducing the amount of gunk in the bucket, and the liver will then be able to handle the airborne pollen and dust load. The antibody antigen will then stop being produced by the body, and the allergies will just go away, will just fade away. Now, you've heard that many times. Sometimes people with childhood allergies, they'll just tell you, well, you'll grow out of them as an adult. And many times, as you get older, in your teens and things, you're becoming more active, your body's sweating more, which is the detox mechanism. When you move and run and things, you're pumping lymphatics. And so that kind of does that, but not the way you think. It's just because the body's actually getting rid of the gunk, detoxifying itself. And a young liver is usually not so beat up like an old person's liver that is suffering from whatever they've been doing their whole life. Even alcohol and different things, are even more and more medications and drugs and things going to the liver. All medications are hard on the liver and kidneys. Both liver and kidneys are your detox organs, and many people have problems with both, which again adds to this bucket full of gunk in there. So again, part of what we're doing is not only helping to clean things, but help the liver and kidneys to heal and strengthen so they can handle the load and repair what the stresses that we're under from the environment, whatever is going on, whether it's the fall. In the spring, there's another set of things. There's more allergies, but there's also like chemicals and different things too in the field. So different things to look at there. So this is a much healthier approach than just using medications to stop symptoms or suppress the immune system response, which is very hard on the body and further clogs the liver as well. Chiropractic care, by re-establishing normal nerve control of the organs and glands, helps considerably in speeding up this process and having a more lasting and deeper effect. Folks need to realize that symptoms tell us of underlying problems of the body, and that covering them up or just stopping the symptom is not good for long-term health and vitality. Again, what we've been talking about there with getting the organs, the liver, the kidneys, and all the other ones to work well at the same time. So natural health, I mean, when people come into our office, they usually have a list of symptoms that we're going to address, that we're going to monitor. But our goal is to have a patient holistically healthy. We're not just going to work on, even if patients come in here with allergies, we're not going to just work on the liver and kidneys. We're going to work on getting the whole body well, getting the gut health, getting the immune system up, getting the cardiovascular system working, getting everything working well at the same time. And not just covering up symptoms, not putting up people on medication after medication after medication, but using what they need, are supposed to run on, food, and removing as much as possible the environmental causes that give them problems, and then helping their body to handle what they can't get rid of. So many people, let's say if they have a tough job and they just can't, they're just going to be under a lot of stress, is what it is. Well, there's ways of helping the body to handle the stress so the body doesn't feel stressed. You may have stress. Everybody going to have to handle stress, but your body will normally handle it if, for instance, your adrenal glands are working correctly. Many people who are under a lot of stress, their adrenal glands blow out. They just get tired, basically, just can't work correctly. And so when they are hit by stress, it just hits them so hard, and then they have all kind of other problems. So, of course, the way we handle that is just help the adrenal glands to work better and feed them correctly, and then the body has the energy it needs to handle stress. And the same way with this gunk and mucus in the body causing our fall allergies, if we can just get the organs of detox to get rid of the gunk in there, get the bowels to working, another organ of detox. So we have, talked to many people, that are constipated, are not getting rid of the gunk in there. Well, how is the body ever going to eliminate this stuff that it breathes in and eats if your bowels aren't working correctly? Which is really another function of the liver too, that's all tied together. So we're working on all those things here at Natural Health, not only with the diet and things, but even the chiropractic work to help the nervous system to work correctly, to get those organs to work as they're supposed to. The body can support those neurologically that way too. So I think that's enough for me tonight. It gives you a pretty good idea of what we can do and can help with. So I'm going to turn over to Dr. Chip and have him talk about a lot of things. Don't forget, we do have free consultations. If you don't understand what we do here, we do have videos on our website too that you can look at. And of course, we're not in the mainstream, but we don't want to be under that system. We're seeing so many problems with that system right now. With the COVID thing, and they won't allow certain treatments that work very well, have been around for decades, but that system is very tyrannical, in my opinion. And so we just want to get the body well and healthy and basically stay out of that system and just do it a different way, do it an alternative way. So here's Dr. Chip to explain more things, and have a great week.
All right, thank you. So good information there. We're going to keep going with our talk here at fall allergies, and again, I'm Dr. Chip, so we'll go ahead and start with it. So again, like we said, fall allergies, we kind of think about allergies being more like watery eyes, runny nose, all those different symptoms there. But again, we really have to think about what allergies are. Allergies, again, we can see it in two ways. We can see is that we had allergies, like we have them and we can't get rid of them, or we can see them as more just a name for symptoms, such as like a diagnosis. So you can see that somebody has runny nose or watery eyes. You would say is that they have symptoms. They have symptoms that your body is unbalanced in a certain way, causing them issues which they need to address. Again, we're kind of destined for a genetic destiny or whatever, or something in there too. Is that since my relatives have it, now I have it, and it just, it's just going to happen, and we're victims of whatever, diagnosis or whatever you have. But really, that's just one way of seeing it. And again, it's not a wrong way. It's just more of, it just seems like we can't help our bodies to do what it needs to heal up. And so again, like we said, are you willing to change that narrative, change that story to where telling ourselves more that we actually have the power to help ourselves if we understand how to do that. And so again, just a little book here about, again, changing that story of what we think of how health really works. And so again, there's plenty of things to do. One thing, of course, is to eat good whole foods to help the body, again, clean itself out, to help detoxify the body. Again, good whole foods is more of helping our bodies to actually able to eliminate what it needs to, so that it actually is able to help ourselves to help more of health and vitality. Now, these foods are good for promoting that, but we also need to consider is that our body is self-healing and self-regulating all the time. It's just that these foods are able to help that along the process there too. And so again, a important thing that we need to consider too is, this is a happy brain, but more of a balanced brain and body. And when that happens, we're able to, resetting the systems of our body to help promote good health, for all the systems to work properly, for all the cells of our bodies to do what they need to. And then again, that's restoring it back to good health. And so again, a good balanced brain and body will help with that. Now, again, health is a normal state. We tend to think that the world is just kind of full of sickness and disease. But really is that is not the true natural state of our being. We actually are normal natural state is health, is well-being. And when we can see that more, we can see that that's actually a normal thing, then we can actually, you'd say, strive to do that more of the time. And so again, I'll kind of reiterate here is that the brain and body are very important to see that if we're unbalanced, then that can cause health issues or symptoms, and that when we're balanced, that we're able to maintain and sustain that health and well-being. Now you could ask, what unbalances the body? Well, there's a couple things here. Again, like Dr. Mark explained more of the toxins, if we're overloaded with toxins and that our bodies are not able to adapt to them, then of course we could have an unbalancing effect. And that can cause symptoms in our bodies, such as fall allergies, or watery eyes or nose or runny nose there too. Traumas, again, anything that can harm the body, any falls or any physical traumas there too. And if we're not resting our bodies, if we're not moving our bodies enough, of course that can cause issues there too. And then negative thoughts and negative emotions, again, that can hinder the body's ability to self-heal and self-regulate itself too. Again, it's kind of like that same thing of, if the body's in a threatening state all the time, it's actually giving its energy away, taking the, you would say, energy or blood flow from the internal core, the immune system, everything that way, and it goes to the extremities, to where we can defend ourselves in that certain intense state. But a lot of times is that nowadays we are not running from the tiger, we're actually stressed of different various things there too. And so again, our body and brain can't really tell that difference, so it's still stuck in a, you would say, fight or flight, or some kind of state that is very heavy or very, very traumatic or intense for that body. Well, again, what balances the body? Let's look at kind of focus our attention on the good stuff here. So nutrition, again, like we said, there are two good foods. Good whole foods found in nature is always good. Nothing with, or just if they have labels, very limited amount of labels there. And like Dr. Mark explained, is that supplements and everything there too, like in the office here, that can be very health promoting there too. movement and rest. Again, movement promotes good lymphatic drainage, helps the circulation to flow better in our bodies, and that helps to transport the nutrients in our blood to the various joints of our body there too. And then proper rest, of course, if we're overdoing it, then our body's not able to, you would say, rest or recharge. And then positive thoughts and emotions, of course, that is very encouraging for overall health and well-being. Again, kind of going from more of that intense kind of worry, danger side to more of that rest, relax, and recover state. And so again, I think that is it there. Yep. So again, you can always follow us on Natural Health Quincy IL at Facebook, Instagram, Parler, YouTube, Brighteon, BitChute, and Rumble. And then you can follow Dr. Mark Holschlag on GAD. You can subscribe to our email list at naturalhealthquincy.com. We're located at 2000 Jefferson Street in Quincy, Illinois, and the number is 217-228-2040. So again, thank you so much for watching. I hope you gained some insight on what fall allergies are, or how we see it on our perspective of helping ourselves to mitigate or eliminate the fall allergies. So thanks again, and have a great week.